Troops kill 17 bandits, losses 1 officer, 2 soldiers in Zamfara and Katsina State. The presidency told Nigerians to prepare for shocking revelations from the presidential panel regarding the inquest into the suspended EFCC acting chairman. Foreign Affairs Minister Oyema tests positive for COVID-19. Aritule's death's latest report by Nigerian Air Force creates doubt on female pilot death. On business, controversy trails Buhari's approval for transfer of $1.1 billion oil funds to government agencies. Hello and welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Unyoza. Troops of Operation Sahel sanity fighting to rid banditry, cattle rustling and kidnapping in Northwest have killed 17 bandits, losses 1 officer, 2 soldiers in Zamfara and Katsina State. This was contained in a statement by the Acting Director, Defense Media Operations, Defense Headquarters, Abuja, Brigadier Bernard Uyeko. He said on 18 July, troops of Combat Team 1 Operation Sahel Sanity, with the support of Air Task Force Advance, and captured one of the notorious armed bandit strongholds located deep in the forest in Jibia local government area, Katsina State, known as Dangote Camp, where 17 bandits were neutralized, while several others were believed to have escaped with gunshot wounds. Brigadier Uyoko, however, regretted that 1 brave officer and 2 gallant soldiers paid the supreme price, while 4 other soldiers were wounded in action. Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari, the immediate past governor of Zamfara State, has stated that the South should have a shot at the presidency in 2023. He stated this while speaking to reporters, stressing that there is a need to ensure power shift after the tenure of President Buhari. Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari said they have seen the nature of how our presidency will look like. It has to go to the south, while the chairmanship of the party should come to the north in preparation for that. He stressed that he was one of those canvassing for the power shift in 2023, pointing out that that is how things are supposed to be. He, however, refused to disclose the geopolitical zone in the south that should have the ticket. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has released guidelines to all heads of tertiary institutions for the 2020 admission exercise. The board also told all institutions to begin admission for candidates for first and second choices on August 21, 2020. In the document signed by Premium Times and sent to all vice-chancellors, rectors and provosts of universities, polytechnics and colleges of education, the JAMB Registrar Isaac Oloyede warned against floating decisions of its 2020 policy meeting held on June 16th. Mr. Oloyede insists that all admissions must be carried out in an honest and transparent manner. The first and second choices admission exercise be conducted for all institutions from 21st August 2020 to a later date that would be determined by the Federal Ministry of Education and communicated to all the institutions. The registrar said the uncertainties of the COVID-19 make it impossible to fix a terminal date. The presidency has told Nigerians on Sunday to prepare for shocking revelations from the presidential panel regarding the inquest into the suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, for alleged graft and insubordination. The Justice Ayo Salami-led panel is expected to submit its report to President Muhammadu Buhari very soon. Magu was arrested on 6 July over alleged corruption and other related offenses. He was accused of relooting assets recovered by the Commission from suspected treasury looters. The suspended EFCC chief also allegedly failed to account for the interest accruing to 550 billion naira recovered by the anti-graft agency under his watch. This was disclosed by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garuba Shehu, on a Channels Television's program Politics Today. Malam Shehu said the presidency had been receiving some little update from the panel, adding that the findings would surprise Nigerians. He also asked Nigerians to ignore the outburst of certain persons who had questioned the government inquest into the allegations against the anti-graft season. On claims by Magus lawyers that the probe was a witch hunt, the presidential aide said that is a question for the Justice Ayosalami panel, pointing out that the panel is composed of some of this country's most honored people with integrity who will do the right thing. The federal government has extended the tenure of the Commandant General of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Abdullahi Gana by 6 months. The NSCDC spokesman Emmanuel Oke disclosed this in a statement made available to News Agency of Nigeria (NAN) on Sunday in Abuja. Mr. Oke said the Minister of Interior Rauf Aribishola approved an extension of the tenure of the NSCDC boss for a 6-month period and not 5 years as speculated in some quarters. He noted that a tenure extension will be effective from July 17, 2020 to January 2021 and not for another 5 years as speculated in the media. The governorship ambition of the Edo State All Progressives Congress APC candidate got a boost weekend in Benin as a group northern professional residents in the state rallied support for him even as leaders of Igbo women community who recently defected to the People's Democratic Party have vowed to work for the next success of incumbent Governor Godwin Obaseki. The Igbo women, who were led by Mrs. Blessing, were received in Benin by the PDP state women leader, Mrs. Linda. In a statement by the chairman of the northern group, Alhaji Abdullah Tureita, he said that they have resolved to throw their weight behind Eziyamo and ensure his victory at the polls. Alhaji Tureita commended the APC for appointing Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje as the chairman of APC Campaign Council for the Edo election. The former Emir of Kano State, Mohammed Sanusi, has identified other factors that are promoting corruption in Nigeria. He said morally and religiously speaking, corruption is a problem. Mohammed Sanusi observed that the root of corruption is when we begin to de-emphasize merit, competence, and performance, adding that the worst form of corruption in this country is nepotism. He stated this during a webinar, stressing that corruption will remain an issue in the country as long as incompetent people continue to occupy leadership positions. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema has announced that he tested positive for the coronavirus disease. Mr. Onyema made the announcement via his Twitter handle on Sunday. He tweeted that he did his 4th COVID-19 test yesterday at the first sign of a throat irritation, and unfortunately this time it came back positive. The balance in Nigeria's excess crude account ECA rose to $72.407 million in June, just as the Federation Account Allocation Committee (FAC) said it shares 651.148 billion naira for the month. The balance in the ECA for the month increased by $186,000 from about $72.2 million recorded last month. Another 45 billion naira was transferred to the excess non-oil revenue account, while transfer to the Northeast Development Commission was 8.419 billion naira. These details were contained in a communique issued at the end of the FAC online meeting for June held on Friday and chaired by the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris. Human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Ebonade Borua, seemed unsatisfied by the latest press release by the Nigerian Air Force on the instance of the death of the combatant helicopter female pilot Ms. Tolu Lope. In a statement made available to Control TV, the senior advocate said the submissions of the Air Force raises more questions to the claims of the NAF. He raised serious questions of which seems to suggest foul play in the entire ordeal. And on business. The approval by President Muhammadu Buhari for transfer of about $1.1 billion oil revenue by the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company to some government agencies has struck a controversy, with some experts saying the transfer without appropriation by the National Assembly is an impeachable offense. The legal director of Abuja-based Aspen Energy Limited, Ijwe Aye, and lead director Center for Social Justice, Eze Oyepere, spoke on Sunday in reaction to a linked confidential document that circulated on social media last week about the controversial approval. The document bore the signature of the late Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari. They convey details of a payment plan purportedly approved by President Buhari for NDPDC to transfer about $1.099 billion to various government-owned agencies from concession rents in respect of oil mining release that should have been paid to the Department of Petroleum Resources. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Troops kill 17 bandits, losses one officer, two soldiers in Zamfara and Katsina State. The presidency told Nigerians to prepare for shocking revelations from the presidential panel regarding the inquest into the suspended Economic and Financial Crimes Commission acting chairman. Foreign Affairs Minister Onyema tests positive for COVID-19. Aritile's death, latest report by Nigerian Air Force created doubt on female pilot death. On business, controversy traced Buhari's approval for transfer of $1.1 billion funds to government agencies. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garba. I still remain Musa Joy Onyeva. Stay tuned.